the median income for this project will be $52,000, which will be is for a household of 3, and the median income in the city of Fullerton is $62,000. So we put together a study, and like I said, I'm more than happy to meet with any of the members of the community, stakeholders, commissioners, to walk them through that study. It essentially shows that the spending power of the households from our project will be very similar to what a market rate project would be.
The average income, first of all, this is a land use approval. This is not a financing approval, so if we get the financing approval, then the project will be affordable. But since we're all, we all know that affordable is one of the options we're looking at, that is the income is $30,000 to $75,000 per year. The median's 52, but that's the range. We have a range of rents and a range of incomes. So we're talking, I think most people in this room, in this building, would have an income that would enable them to live there. And we have the support of the Fullerton Chamber of Commerce for this project.
So I've said before that I will never support a project that requires public financing for a private project to be owned by a private entity, and obviously this project falls into that category. It's really hard right now to look at a project that is going to reach into the taxpayer's pocket and asking them to pony up money to an agency that's in the middle of being shut down, or actually has been shut down, and to ask them to pay for this project even though they won't get to live in it. Everybody in this room who lives in Fullerton will be contributing, whether they like it or not, to the financing of this project if it moves forward. And then we have the discussion as to whether or not financing is even something that we get to talk about in this meeting, something that's in our purview, and yet everything we've talked about is tied intrinsically to the public financing aspect of this, which includes the subsidized housing, the cost of the units, the density of the units. So I guess it's really difficult for me to sit here and pretend that the financing aspect is not something that we should discuss. And so with that, I know that that some of my co-commissioners up here have expressed kind of fiscal conservative mindsets in the past, and I know that some of them hold kind of a similar disdain for public financing of private projects or government subsidies. And to them, I would say, look at your principles and realize that if you move this project forward, you are doing it with the knowledge that the taxpayers are going to have to pay for part of this, even though they will not receive the benefit from it. And I don't think that's right. And I would just ask some of my co-commissioners to consider that and consider the burden, the bond debt that you will be putting on the taxpayers. And so with that, I'd make a motion to deny this project based on that.
The issues as far as funding go, in a perfect world, the money that the government kicks in to put into private developments like this that are driven by the California State Building Code, which require a certain number of affordable housing units in your community, is better spent in the city of Fullerton than it is sent back to Governor Brown and the legislature who made these laws in the first place.
We want the taxpayers on the hook for this. On the other hand, we're mandated to provide it.
And that we are under a mandate from the state to provide low-income housing.
I'm sorry, I have to jump in back on the subject we were just talking about. I think there's some misconceptions about a state mandate for subsidized housing. I don't think there is a state mandate for subsidized housing outside of redevelopment. And since redevelopment is no longer around, the mandates that I understand have to do more with land being available. There's ways around it, land being available for development of low-income housing, not necessarily taxpayers forking over money directly to projects. So I just wanted to make sure that just to offer a little bit of clarity that it may not be true that the state mandates specifically public subsidizing of housing in every city. I do not think that is true.
Right. I don't believe anyone said that the state's mandating that we subsidize it, but they do mandate that a city meets a certain requirement of their housing element to be low income, and this is one of the ways to do it.
But it was kind of stated that there are no other ways, and there are other ways that do not involve public subsidies. Just to be clear.
Point noted.
I call for the vote.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.